Okay. So, all right. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Kenneth, and good afternoon, ID. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear
good
you.
afternoon.
All right.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
So, you are welcome to first. I think this is the very first time you must have been meeting me in KodeCamp. All right. So
Yes.
I will be welcoming you to KodeCamp officially. All right. I know KodeCamp is a very good place, of course, to start off your tech career. All right. If you are just starting out in tech. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I would like to be your PHP trainer for the duration of your stay here. All right.
Wow.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I think you should feel free to run up to me each time you're having issues relating to PHP, maybe and some other stuff. Anyway, I'm
Okay.
friendly. My name is Celestine, like I said earlier. All right. So
Okay.
yeah, I happen to be from Akwa Ibom State anyway. So
Wow.
I am a software engineer as well. So I think basically for now, we just keep the introduction low. So I would also like to know everyone on this call except the hosts. All right. So I'll start from ID. All right. So you go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Idon Estetefa. I'm from Uyo here in Akwa Ibom State. I'm a beginner. I'm new. This is my first time of actually learning anything back end or coding and all of that. So I hope it's going to be, the experience is going to be worthwhile.
Sure, it's sure going to be worthwhile. All right. Like I
Yeah.
promise you, CodeCamp is you've really found the right place to be. CodeCamp is really going to take care of that. All right. So Kenneth, over to you.
Okay, once again, good afternoon, everyone. So that's my name, Kenneth Afron, and I'm from Akwa Ibom State as well, Oron specifically. Okay, so I think I've been into tech in some way, but I actually wanted to like kind of upskill, like get deeper. So I had to register for this, and I'm happy to be here.
All right. Okay. So welcome. All right. Welcome. And like I would still tell you all. So each time we are having issues, so do well to run over to me. I'm always there. Regardless of whatever time. Even it's maybe around 4 a.m. Even if it's 2 a.m. I know for sure I'm going to always be there. All right. So I will be your PHP trainer, like I already mentioned earlier. I'll be your PHP trainer for the while. All right. For the meantime. Okay. So for today, what we are really going to be doing is just basic introduction. Juliet, welcome. So before we start, I think she hasn't yet connected her microphone. All right. Okay, fine. Juliet, welcome. So we would like to know you. Hello, Juliet.
Hello.
All right. Welcome. All right. My name is Celestine. All right. And I'm your trainer for the PHP beginner. All right. So we would also like to know you. There are some other persons. All right. So you just jumped
Okay.
in. So I would like to know you before we continue.
Well, I'm Juliet, and I'm a beginner. I'm a PHP beginner. I've not really tried it out before. I just want to know what it's like.
So meaning you're not even here to stay in PHP. So you're just here to test the waters.
So let us just start. I'll know how it is while we are going.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So we continue. So, well, actually, like I was saying, so we'll be starting out with the basics of PHP, and basics of PHP has to do with a lot of things. All right. So today we will just be focusing on the introduction to PHP, and then we'll do a little bit of environment setup, and we'll talk about a bit about the language syntax and of course, so ending with the web overview. Then the last section is the question and answer. All right. So in every of my class, all right. So there will be always a question and answer session. All right. That's always towards the end of the class. Now, if you do want to ask a question in between the class, so you will do well to raise your hands. Okay. So if you don't raise your hands and I figure that your mic is on mute, I will mute you, or some other person will go up and mute you. All right. So the rule is, you want to ask a question, please raise up your hands. All right. I think that's pretty clear, and we don't have too much rules here, just very few, okay, to just something to just maintain orderliness and so on, okay. So we will start right away. We'll start right away, all right? Okay, so to other people joining us, so they will just join us and we are to go. So for now, everybody is joining, who is joining, muted. All right, so like I was saying, today we will actually be talking about intro to PHP, all right? Just basic introduction, and then we will do a little bit of environment setup, language syntax, and web overview. Before I start, I always like to do this very important survey, all right? Two important surveys, just two important surveys, and I will start with asking, okay, what platform are you using for your development environment? All right, are you using a Windows PC? Are you using a Mac PC? Or you are using a Linux PC? All right, so over to you. And this survey will help me to, streamline how I'm going to help you in some cases here. All right, since there are different setup for different machines. So I don't know which machines each and every one of us use, but I will first ask, ID, what machine are you using? What's your platform of development?
I'm using Windows.
Okay. What about you, Juliet?
I'm making use of Windows.
Okay. Kenneth?
Windows too. I use Windows as well.
Okay, so I happen to have a namesake, Steven. How about you? What's your platform of development? Hello, Steven. Hello, Steven. Okay, so we proceed. So I assume everybody here on the call is using Windows, all right? So we'll just proceed. Then the next survey I would like to know is how many of you come from a computer science background? For example, probably you are studying a computer science or you studied computer science, all right? Regardless of whichever level. So we'll start with ID.
Okay, I didn't study computer science, I studied mass communication.
Okay, how about you, Juliet?
I'm a computer science graduate.
Okay, all right. How about you, Kenneth?
Okay, I just graduated from computer engineering.
Computer engineer. Okay. Okay. Steven? Hello, Steven. Okay, Shay, hope you heard the question I asked. Welcome. Okay, all right, so we proceed. Okay, so now the next thing we'll be talking about, this is the outline of what we're going to be talking about today, all right? So first is the intro to PHP, all right? And then we'll do some more of environment setup, okay? This is where you configure and then set up your development environment for development purposes, okay? Where we are going to be doing some installing of PHP and so on and so forth, okay? And then the next one is going to be web overview. Of course, PHP is a scripting language often used for, backend development, all right? Often used in the web, all right? To script servers, right? In other words, to write programs or to write software for server machines, all right? And then the last thing we will be looking through is why PHP. Okay, I'm going to be trying to convince you, all right? I can't convince you. I'm going to be trying to convince you why PHP is the ultimate, all right? Why it should be chosen, all right? Why it should be chosen, I mean, and why you are so lucky to be here. All right. So then we will just move straight. Yeah. So we start from trying to understand what PHP even is. A lot of persons just write PHP. Sometimes you get to ask what is PHP, and then some people have to sometimes Google, all right, to find out the meaning. Okay. And like I just mentioned Google right now. So one of the things I will likely recommend, please do make use of Google. All right, after the class, if you feel I haven't been able to, answer your questions very, well, and probably we've tried to do some, much more personal for that class, and then it's not working out, Google can, give you some good resources out there to use. All right. So I know for sure, as a software engineer or as a software developer, all right, most of our friends is just Google. All right. So you have to use Google. It's not about copying code. Okay. It's about finding resources that sometimes that may have a kind of, solution you're looking for, or may have some resources that, might have had some kind of problems you are facing at the moment, and then you are looking for solution and how the person or solved it. Okay. Basically. So, and PHP simply means hypertext processor. All right. And like everyone all know, it's a widely used programming language for general purpose scripting. It's a widely used scripting language for general purpose server-side scripting. Yeah. So, and most times, like I would say, PHP is always used in the server side. I think is it used anyway? Only in server side, and then some other things I want to talk about is the architecture of, why PHP is always using the server side. But then I think when we get to that stage, so I'll talk about it. All right, and there are several other things. There are several other things. So I will have to. Okay. Yeah. So this is better now. So I can just swap that. So yeah, you can read much more about PHP here. So you can read much more about PHP here. All right, everything you're looking for in PHP is always here. The new release, the cheat sheet or something, and some workaround about probably some maybe new introductions or some other things you're still yet to be familiar with. Okay, so you can come down here and then read about them. All right. So and currently in PHP, so we have the version 8. Okay. All right. So and the next thing we will actually be talking about is what can PHP do. Okay. So majority of the websites, plenty of the websites you do visit are being managed by PHP. All right. So you are trying to, for example, you are going to a website, let's say Facebook, and then you are on a home page. Okay. And then next time you scroll to a comment page, and sometimes you scroll to your profile page. All right. Sometimes this page is not, written for everybody. So imagine like if I have 10 users, or if Facebook have like 10 users, and then he or Facebook company will have to replicate 10 pages for different users. All right. So you know how tedious that's going to be. Currently, I think Facebook do have millions of users. All right. So imagine developing different PHP, or should I say different website content for how many, for millions of users. I don't know. Yeah, millions of users. It's tedious, and you can't keep up. So this is where PHP comes in. It helps in generating or say creating dynamic pages or dynamic page content, all right, or somewhere. So most cases, ideally, what happens in Facebook is that you have just one profile page, all right, in the code base, one profile page, or maybe probably a few profile pages, all right, and then now when you log into Facebook, PHP now tries to figure out who is this person, and then picks your name, and then picks your credentials and so on and some other stuff, and fits into a kind of dummy profile, and then replicates those dummy data with your actual data, and then present it to you, and then make it look like a customized page for you. All right, and then the next thing PHP can actually do this, generating of. In fact, PHP does this more of often, dynamic page content generation and so on. So the next thing is just like your normal programming language, okay, and it performs CRUD actions on files. Okay, CRUD action simply means where you create, you read, you update, and you delete. All right. So when you are performing CRUD action in files, is where you are creating a file. All right. You are reading from a file, you are updating a file, and obviously you are deleting a file, and maybe probably you are closing a file or opening a file or something. Okay. PHP can do these things, all right, for you. And the next thing is it can also perform CRUD actions on servers. All right, CRUD actions on database on your servers. All right, so where you have to create database, update your database, all right, and read from your database and actually delete probably a record or maybe delete the whole database or something. Okay, so PHP can actually help you to do this. So we will get there. So even if we are not going to be, I'm sure we're going to be touching a lot of these, like file actions and database actions. We are sure going to be doing them here in the beginners. I think probably I should, maybe we'll talk about this later on. Okay. So, and now, obviously, like I did mention of Facebook, all right? So each time you are trying to sign into Facebook, so what are you trying to do? You are sending your data, all right, in a form to a possibly a PHP backend, all right? So where what PHP does is it takes that data and then process them. For example, you are trying to log into your page, or you're actually trying to log into your profile or whatever, all right? And then what you do is there you are provided with an email, should I say source of identity, all right? For example, email and then your password. And then once you are able to satisfy that requirement, all right, of authentication. So what happens? Your profile is being loaded to you, all right? So what has it done? It has actually processed the data you sent through a form, all right? For example, like I said, you inserted your email or your phone number or whatever identity mechanism you are being asked. Probably could be maybe some other oath or some other authentication level, okay? And then you impute your password. And what it does is it takes your email and then try to confirm, is this person me, all right, or is this person you? Who is this person? And then fetches just the contents related to the supplied credentials, all right, and then returns it to the user, all right. And this is form processing, all right. You can call this form processing, and of course, that is basically what PHP does. And PHP can as well send and receive cookies. So and the next one is PHP can be used to control user access. All right. So in most cases, when you see probably giant websites or giant software organizations, let's say like Facebook, Google, and maybe can even be like PageStorm or even what's it called, Flutterwave or something. Okay. What happens is most of the time they have a user access systems, okay, where they try to identify user roles. For example, a user can be an admin, and user can be just a basic user. A user can be a suspended user, and so on and so forth. Okay, PHP can do these things, provide access controls to different layers. For example, maybe probably you are given a server, maybe a VPS or something, and then your VPS includes that you are given some parts, only some part of the server. PHP can do this, and then just only give you some part of the server to use. All right, and the next is data encryption. All right, so of course PHP does data encryption. All right, I wouldn't be talking more about. So the next thing, so we will be setting up development environment. All right, so for Windows, it's just going to be straight to the point. So for Windows, I wouldn't want us to go through the hassle of trying a lot of things. Okay, so I'm just going to recommend you to download XAMPP. Okay, you can go to Google, so download and install XAMPP. So from there we can now start. So is there any other person using some other different platform aside Windows? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so I think this moment will be actually interactive, because I need to make sure that everyone has a development environment set up. Okay, so please, if you have XAMPP already installed, if you are using Windows and you have XAMPP already installed in your system, please can you raise up your hands? Hello, can you hear me?
How would you know that you have XAMPP installed on your system?
Okay, if you are using, I think you should be able to see XAMPP installed on the system if you have XAMPP installed already. Like when you go to your all programs or applications, if you're using from Windows 8 and Windows 10 and so on. Okay, it's only Kenneth that I'm seeing that has XAMPP installed, but you can download another one, download another version of XAMPP. Let me just share the link with everyone.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that Bechi, friends, the dog, and of course. So this is going to tell me, so you can see. So XAMPP for Windows. I'm going to share this with everyone. So yeah, you can follow up this link. You can follow up this link right now to download XAMPP, right? So please, if you have XAMPP already installed, raise up your hands. ID, do you have, okay, ID, do you have XAMPP installed?
No, I don't.
Okay,
My device is not
you
coming
can
out, but
go
I'll
through
try and
this link
trying to set it up.
so well, then we can continue.
Okay.
And Steven, you didn't say anything ever since the class started. I've not been able to hear from you.
Me?
Do you
Me?
have XAMPP installed?
Me?
Yeah. Do you have XAMPP installed?
Okay. Yeah, I have what is necessary to installed for PHP.
You have XAMPP installed?
Yeah, I do.
Then I did say if you have XAMPP installed, you should raise your hands, and I didn't see your hands.
I just joined. I'm at work, so we had something, so I just joined. So I saw that the host, I saw where they wrote on my screen, the host is telling me to of me. I was at work, I had to do something, so I just came in front of my computer, you understand? I wasn't at the front of my computer. Yeah.
Okay. Oyedebo, can you hear me? That is you. Hello, Taufikat. Okay, so I'll just proceed. I'll just proceed. Okay, so if you have XAMPP already installed, so you should be able to go to your HTDOC. So I think you should be able to go to your HTDOC. Sorry, I'm not using a Windows system, so I should be able to show you that I'm using a Linux system. So I will just assume you have XAMPP installed, and then you are following. So once you go to HTDOC, so that is where you can host your PHP project, all right? And that's where you can begin to write your PHP if you are using Windows, all right? So go to that's in C drive. So you go to XAMPP, then you go to HTDOC, all right? So in the HTDOC, that's where you'll be able to write or execute your PHP scripts, right? So in my own case, I have my PHP installed because I'm using Linux. I have my PHP installed globally, so I can choose to probably just run any PHP script at any folder I feel or I want to. Okay, so in my own case, since I'm using Linux, so I'll just come down here. And you can see I have Workspace. So I'm going to create a new folder. So for every different things, because we are just starting KodeCamp. I don't know if there is already KodeCamp, but let me check if we have KodeCamp already. I'm not sure we have KodeCamp here. Now, all right. So yeah. So there we go. Now you can see it's fresh. So I'll just come here. And if you if you want to verify that you have PHP installed, so first thing you should do is php-v. And you should be able to see, oh, sorry. So php-v, all right? So you should be able to see. So in my own, I have 7.4.27. So, but then I don't think we should use this. So probably I'm just going to do some, don't forget about this. So this is, so for, I think most of you, please can you check this and then let me see which version you have. Use this command to check your PHP version. So let's start from there. So, and then once you're done, please drop your version in the chat fast. I'm waiting in the chat and nobody's saying anything. Okay, in case you are looking for the command, let me remove this from my screen so you can see very well. All right, so you can see php-v. All right, execute this command in your HTDOC folder. Okay, 8.1. This is from Steven. Okay, so I need about at least I need at least 4 more so we can proceed. So please let's be fast so that we can cover a lot of things before time is gone. We have barely 2 hours, and 2 hours we need to cover a lot, plenty other things. Yeah, Steven, you just need to paste this, just only the version number, and no additional, leave other additional text, just the version number alone. Only one person I'm seeing. So, and then the next thing I will recommend to, if you do not have an IDE, or if you're thinking about the IDE we are going to be using, so I would have said we should go for a full IDE like PHP Storm, right? But then I know PHP Storm is not free. So we are going to go for something that's free, and we will be using VS Code editor, right, as our code editor. All right, so I have mine here. So I'll just open here and I'll do this code. Nobody's saying anything. I think only Steven is responding and no other person. Okay, somebody just say something. Steven. So Steven is saying that you can use PHP Storm for free if you got a student email, like your personalized university mail. All right. So I didn't know about that. So kudos. So are you guys not saying that I should switch to my PHP Storm? I love to use PHP Storm because it's a full ID. All right. But for those, maybe just for today, so we are going to be using VS Code. Maybe in subsequent class, so I might switch to PHP Storm. So please don't be scared when you see that. And I think somebody else wanted to speak, and I did. Okay, Juliet, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Okay, I said you should go ahead with VS Code because not everybody has a.
All right, so PHP Storm. Okay, so I assume everybody do have the PHP VS Code, right? Okay, please. I did mention that every one of us, I want to verify your development, your PHP version. Okay, I want to verify that you've successfully set up your development environment and you're ready to kickstart this class. So I did ask everyone to post their PHP version currently on their machine here on the chat, and I'm only seeing Steven. And we are about how many people are here? So we have Juliet, Adewale, and Happy, and we have ID. So there are 6 persons. Okay. And of course, only one person. That means only one person has his environment set up and is ready for development, right? Okay. Steven just joined. So he said, do we have the link to download PHP, please? Okay. Adewale, please, what is your local machine like? Are you using a Linux, okay, or you're using a MacBook, or you're using Windows, or probably maybe other operating systems I haven't been able to mention, so that I can, there are different installation processes for different machine. So I need to sort this development environment thing. So before we move forward. Okay, if you have Windows, I did send this earlier, so I'll send it to you. So we are using XAMPP. So since you are using Windows, so I'll just paste this now. So this is the link to download the XAMPP. All right. So download XAMPP, and of course, once you're done downloading, install XAMPP. All right. So when you install XAMPP, so you go to your C drive, then locate XAMPP directory, C drive directory, XAMPP folder. All right. Then the next folder to locate is the HTDOC folder. So that is where you write your scripts, your PHP scripts. All right. Okay. So any other person? No other person has set up his or her own environment aside from Steven. Juliet, you want to ask a question, or your hand is still raised?
Okay, my own setup is taking time to install. That's why it's like I've not set up mine.
Okay, so I think we will likely just probably be doing one or two things, maybe while some other persons are setting up their environment. So Kenneth, do you have your installation, your development environment set up already?
Yeah, I do. So I was trying to route to, I'm using CMD. I'm trying to use CMD to check the version. So I was trying to route to the folder, the HTDOC folder. So I'm checking the command. I can't recall online. So that's what is taking my time.
Okay. In case you're trying to do stuff like which CMD provider are you using? Are you using normal CMD from Windows, or you're using Bash?
No, Windows. I'm using Windows.
Windows. Okay,
Normal
download
Windows
Git Bash.
CMD. Okay, Git.
I think you should download Git Bash.
Okay.
Please, Adewale, there is Windows version for example. Okay, download the one that's suitable with your machine, not the one that's not suitable with your machine. So though I downloaded the Linux OS, scared because I don't know. Okay. Oh, you downloaded the Linux OS. I don't know if you mean you downloaded. Is it that your system probably is dual booted, or you have a system that has Linux or something, or maybe you just have a Linux ISO seated on your system? Is that what you mean? You have the ISO in your system, or you have it dual booted, or you have it in another system installed? What do you mean? Okay. Somebody said my system just went down, so I will just attend the class. Set up when I have it back up. Okay, it's not installed yet. It's just a software. Okay. ID. All right. So we just have to move. And Adewale is saying that it's not installed yet. So it's just a software. Okay. So for everyone who is here, I will also I'll try to advise that you use Linux, right? So this is because Linux fully supports PHP and a whole lot of programming languages. It supports this programming thing, okay, more easier than every other operating system or something, okay. So I will just say, so don't be don't be afraid to go on Linux. It might be tedious the first few weeks, okay, but trust me, you enjoy it. I've been on this platform for a while now. Okay, Adewale, go on. Your hand is raised.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. Go on. I can hear you.
Yeah, I said I downloaded it already. For my issue, I've actually been
I didn't get that.
hovering around, like manipulating around the Linux environment. It's not. I'm new to it.
Okay.
So since I'm more acclimatized with Windows, that's been my fear of installing it. So it's not something I just install and I can find my way around. So that's why I've really been scared changing all of the settings to Linux from Windows. I don't know if there is like a material you can give out or anything that would aid proper, how do I put it, like a tutorial or something on the Linux, on using the Linux.
Okay, materials on how to use Linux. Okay, so you will try to see a way around that. Okay, okay, you can drop your hands. Juliet, I think your hand was raised, or are you okay? So I think probably was the question answered.
Yeah, I'm okay. It was an error on my own side.
Okay, I don't know if you can mute. Oh, okay. So, ID, can I run Windows and Linux on the same system? Yes, you can dual boot, all right? So if you are finding it hard to dual boot, Adewale, please, can you mute your mic? Oh, don't worry. Okay, ID, so if you are looking to dual boot or to run Linux and Windows on the same system, yes, actually you can. So if you cannot do it by yourself, so I advise you take your system to the probably a system repairer or an engineer to help you sort that out. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I think I was on some other things. So, like I was saying, if you are looking for, oh, sorry. Okay. ID, a recap. So you can actually run Linux and Windows on your same machine. Okay. So there are two ways to do it. Either you get a virtual machine, a virtual box, like there are some other virtual box like that are outside there. So you can use a virtual box to run your Linux on your virtual machine or something. Okay. And you can do a boot. So if you cannot do any of those, so you can just meet an engineer who should be able to help you, set up the two boots, okay, the two OS on your system. And if you are still finding it hard, probably there are so many resources online, so you can just, like I said, use Google. All right. Okay. So actually, we've spent a lot of time here. So Juliet, have you been able to set your? Are you not setting your environment?
No, I'm not done.
Okay. So while people's environment are still being set up, so let's just look at something else. So yeah, we're back here again. All right. So now for Windows, just download them like I already told you. So this is the process for Linux users. All right, if there's any Linux user here, so open your terminal, update packages, install updated packages, then install PHP and then install Apache. You're done. But for Windows, you just download XAMPP and of course you're up and running. Then if you also want to, you can also use XAMPP on Linux. Yeah, LAMP. They call it LAMP. There's an application like that. They call it LAMP. All right. But for Linux users, it is better that you use It's always better that you use the global PHP. All right, so the next we will be looking at, so before we go to overview of the web, so let's see how it looks like to execute few PHP code. All right, so probably once you are done installing your environment or something, so the next thing is how do I write PHP code? Okay, so assuming now this folder here is your HTDOC. So I think you should be able to create a new file. And of course, you know, every PHP file extension ends with .php. Okay, I can just say something like hello.php. Okay, .php. All right, and of course, you want to do your PHP stuff. So you see this, then yeah, you're done. Then this is in some ways optional, in some ways not. Depends on what you want to do. So for example, if you're writing classes and so on, so sometimes you can leave it like this. But in this case, we stick to this. So this is where you actually write your PHP code. Okay? So this is where you write your PHP code. Now, first thing is probably to try to echo some few things. Okay? Let's print out some few stuff. There's different type of print statements. So we have this. So we have echo, and I can just say using string literal like hello world, and we have print hello world, and we also have print R. Yes, hello world. Yeah, or probably can change this hello world to probably something like hello PHP. Hello PHP. Hello PHP, and yeah, hello PHP. So now we done writing. So this is comments, all right? So of course you've seen where I happen to put these things. Now I'm going to introduce you to something else, okay? Now if you're downloading any PHP, any IDE, for example, VS Code. So there is a terminal here. So sometimes I may actually like to use this terminal because this makes a lot of things easier for me. Instead of me going out from here to this place, where instead of me coming here and then doing stuff like this and writing my stuff, so I can easily now execute them right there in my IDE. Okay, so I save this. So it's telling me to configure, so I'll just leave it like that. I'm not configuring anything. Oh. Okay, so fine. So because I'm using some kind of ID, whatever is being called, so it's making that thing look fine for me. So you see how PHP file extensions should look like. So you see how it looks like. So hello.php or PHP extension file env.php, and then inside the file or PHP file, so you likely see something like this. Okay. Maybe for some reasons, maybe other preprocessors like Blade or some other preprocessors, all right, or template processors or thereabout. Okay. And yeah, so to execute this script, there are two ways to execute this script. All right, there are two ways to execute this script. Either execute the script on the browser or execute the script on my command line. Now, to execute the script on a browser, I will have to start up a server. All right, in most cases, PHP most times comes with an inbuilt server. So I can just say local host with port 8000. I can specify the file, probably hello world, hello, yeah, .php. hello.php. All right. So this should be able to run just hello.php. If I visit this guy, so I'm just going to head to my browser. So I'm sure you can see my browser. So I'll just say localhost port 8000. So I should be able to have, oh, because this is, because I don't have this. So if I uncomment this and save, and I go back now and refresh, so you can see hello PHP. So this is one way to execute a PHP script. Now, for now, in most cases, we will likely be using, because we are likely to be spending a lot of time developing on local. So I'm going to end the server. So I'll just close this server right now. So the other way is for me to just do PHP hello, hello.php. So you can see something like hello PHP. All right, so you see this. So because of this, so I'm going to add a new line. So because it's just hovering on my. Okay, now you see it's better now. It displays fine now because I put a new line command there. So you can see hello PHP. Now this is some way where you can quickly execute a script and see how it works. All right. So you can do something like this. If I do something like, I can still do echo hello, and I think I should get so this is just where you try to prototype some new stuff. So I don't know why it's not working well on my ID. All right. So in most cases, so we might likely be using the command line, or we'll be using the web version to execute scripts to see how it actually works. Okay. So the next one we are going to test out is the print. So I'll just execute hello.php again, and you see, of course, you see. So I'll just add this to make it look better. And oh, sorry. New line. So we have hello PHP, and then the next one. So yeah, we have two hello PHP now, because now if I include all of this, and I execute them, so you can see now how it looks. So on our browser, see, server was stopped. So I'll restart the server again, probably maybe in another terminal. So yeah, there we go. So we have a working server now. So we have hello PHP, hello PHP, hello PHP from the three print statements. So maybe probably in some other class, not probably in some other class, so we'll be talking about a lot of all these things, all these PHP things. So it wouldn't be just mere introduction. So it will be us talking about a lot of PHP related stuff where we have to talk about variable, probably data types, and some other random stuff. Syntax, comment types, and some other much more in-depth thing. Okay. So, no, you don't need to install any extension for it to work. Okay, but if you want to configure your extension to work directly, like maybe probably configure some server, with your extension. You can do that, but you do not necessarily need any VS Code extension for the server to work. So the server is an inbuilt stuff, okay, that comes with PHP. So the next thing, actually, so we will be heading to the next thing to talk about. So how many people got this right? So before I move on, how many people got this right? So if you got this right, please can you raise your hand? Okay, Sam Udo got it right, and who again? So Sam, so probably maybe if this class ends and then anybody should, if you're not getting it right, probably I'm not available at the moment, so you can reach out to Sam Udo. So I'm sure he should be able to guide you to get this right. Okay. So once you're able to execute script like this, hooray! So you've been able to install PHP. Okay. Now the next thing we'll be talking about is the overview of the web. All right. So of course you are coming to learn PHP. Of course you are going to learn PHP probably for your backend, server stuffs, right? So it is necessary for you to understand at least the basic concept of, what the web is, how the web operates, okay? How does even PHP gets its data from, what are the cycles and so on and so forth. So first, if you are being asked of what the web is, I'm sure sometimes many people may really not be sure of how the web works, okay? The web actually is an interconnection of computers around the globe, right? Through a network. Now, the purpose of it is just sharing information like we are doing. So most of the time, what PHP is doing is it is sending information from the server to the client. All right. So there are different architectures, surrounding, this network. But we are not in networking class for now, so I'll just stick to some few basic principles. Now, the client server network architecture is the basic architecture for the web. All right. So where you have where the client sends a request, and obviously the server now responds to the request, all right, or responds to the request with some other stuff. All right. For example, I did mention Google, or I did mention. Now this is stored in a computer somewhere where I don't know where it is. All right, but this is stored in a computer somewhere. So what I did is I sent a request to this server. There is something we call DNS, all right? Now, most of these computers are connected to the network, and then they have their unique address, for example, their IP address, all right? So now IP address, there's what they call DNS, all right? Domain name server. So domain name server now takes up this name, for example, and now maps it to an IP address. So now what am I trying to do? I'm performing an action. I'm trying to get a resource from a server. And because I am trying to get, so the server now does what? Responds to me with the requested information. I'm telling you in this case, get me php.net. Get me php.net. And in response, what do I have? I have a PHP material homepage or a PHP homepage. Okay, I can as well go to something like, I can now tell probably, send a request to another server, maybe probably Google. Get me google.com. All right. And of course, I have Google homepage here. And now I'm not sending another request again to same Google. I'm not telling Google, get me PHP. All right. So you see, it is searching. It's saying, okay, search me PHP, search me from everything that has to do with PHP, search the web all to do with anything that has to do with PHP. See, so where we have the server name, google.com with the route. So it's saying, okay, Google, this person is coming towards this route, and it's coming with some social parameters, and it's asking that I search for this word PHP, and of course you can see now with some metadata, all right? With some metadata associated with the request. So sometimes, probably maybe when we get down, so we'll talk about all these things. But then for now, you understand that I did send another request after I actually sent the first request asking for Google, all right? And Google resolved this for me. And Google resolved this for me. And Google resolved this for me, all right? So now the thing is, if I choose to go to any other website, probably maybe some of these websites like maybe KodeCamp, yeah. So give me KodeCamp. This is what I'm telling the server. So I'm just telling the server to give me KodeCamp, and in turn I have KodeCamp here, delivered to me as my response. All right. So in most cases, what happens is clients in many cases have to do what? Sends requests to a server, and then the server does what? The server does respond to every request. So it responds to every request that is being sent. Okay. So now if it doesn't, at least every server must respond. If it doesn't, probably maybe the server doesn't exist, or maybe the problem. But if it doesn't respond with your given information, probably maybe I'm looking for a pages like this and it's telling me not found. Of course, server issue the issue with the server. But what is the thing is that the server must always respond. Okay, or in the server, a good server will always respond. Okay. Now, of course, I didn't mention, the client server architecture. That's actually how the client server architecture works, where a client requests. Okay. Plenty client, like I can have 10 of this laptop connecting to KodeCamp right now. So they are clients, and then they are requesting to the server that is hosting KodeCamp resources. Like the next thing is connected, where networks of computers are connected. Okay. A server is just a physical system, okay, somewhere connected to the cloud, all right? Just one system, one computer, all right, in a place connected to the cloud. Now, some people may kind of use sometimes like virtual machines and so on and so. Even virtual machines have to run on a physical machine. Every virtual machine has to run on what? A physical machine, all right? So even if you are connecting to a virtual machine that is somewhere where we do not know the address of it, the truth is it has to be on a physical machine. All right. So, and it has to be in some sort of network for us to be able to communicate to it. Okay. So imagine where you are turning your system to possibly a development system where you are able to send requests to it, and then it accepts the request and then process the request and then send you back your response. Okay. That is actually to show you how it works. So you have actually turned your system now to your local system to a server, and you are able to send a request to it, and it's able to do what? To process the request and send you back the result. In this case, where we had the Hello PHP thing. So I've been able to send. You remember where I did start off a server. So you see, so if you look at this, you can see PHP 7.4.27 development server. Okay, I've been able to start up a server, and this is how to start up a server in PHP. PHP-S, then the server address. Okay, so automatically, this machine is able to do what? To receive requests now from its own. It's not on any network yet. Like this server is not on any network yet. So I can be able to send a request on this same machine now to it, and then it's able to process that request and then send me back a response. Okay, typical way about it works. Okay. Now for PHP to work effectively, I did mention something of like Apache. Of course, Apache is a server, all right, and like server-side software, okay, that is able to interpret requests and so on. We have Nginx, we have Tomcats for some other application, and then we have some other types of servers, all right, server software. So, but in this case, most times we will likely, if you are in the PHP domain, we will likely be using either Apache or Nginx. So, how many people are done with their environment setup now? So before we get down to this, how many people are done with their environment setup? If you are done, please, you can raise your hands. Okay, Kennedy is done. All right. So Kennedy is done. Who again is done? Sam is done. Juliet dropped off. And I think ID had issues or something. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is why PHP. Okay. If you are looking at the reason to be a PHP developer or a PHP software engineer or something. Okay, there are various reasons. PHP runs on different architectures, different system architectures. All right, like it runs on any OS. All right, on plenty of OS, not just any OS, plenty of OS that supports PHP. For example, the Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS, and some other OS. Okay. And so apart from running on some other OS, on wide OS, so it's compatible with almost all servers used today. Okay, this is including of Apache IIS, and Nginx, etc. So it supports wide range of databases like Postgres, even I think Mongo is supported, and MongoDB, MySQL, and some other database servers. It is very easy to learn. All right, so we've just been able to do a print-out statement where we are able to print some few things. Okay, where we can do some other weird random stuff with it. All right. And of course, PHP has a very large community. One of the beautiful things about PHP is that it's an open source. Okay, so meaning that it is not being monopolized. All right, so it is for the community and for the community. It is being run by the community and for the community. So meaning you can even contribute to PHP if you intend to. Of course, before you contribute to any open source, you need to have some certain skill level. Okay, in this case, before you contribute to PHP, you need to be very good at PHP itself, and you need to be very good at software development or software engineering. So of course, you see, probably maybe you may not tomorrow like how this echo statement look. Okay, you may not like how this echo statement look. You can go down and then ask that you change this echo statement to something else. So long as the community is okay with it, you are fine. Adewale, can you ask your question? Hi, Adole.
installed
Go on.
I installed the XAMPP already, and the download box came up saying the control
Speak
panel.
up, please. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, yeah, I
Yes.
did completion of the installation. I got a dialog box popped up showing the sound control panel. So at the very end, I got something like problem detected, Tomcat not found, disabling Tomcat buttons. Hello?
I didn't hear you. Can you speak?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can barely hear you now.
Am I more audible now?
Your voice is not really loud. Like I don't know if you're having issues with the microphone or something.
Okay, I
Just
dropped
hold
the
on.
what they call
Just hold on. Let me put on something else so that I can be able to hear you fine. Last time I had to put on my headphones so I can hear you.
How about now?
So yes. Go on now.
What the days of the dialog box, it came out with problem detected, Tomcat not found, disabling Tomcat buttons.
Catalog file.
Tomcat not found, disabling Tomcat buttons. Run this program from your exam please directly. So I don't know if it's still okay or something else I need to do.
Please, can you just type your questions and then post it so that I can be able to?
Okay.
So that because it's a bit not okay. Okay. Any other person ask question? So I don't know. I'll be waiting for you to be done before I continue, so that I can answer your question before then I go up to some other things. Oh, it says Tomcat not found. Okay, so this is what to do. I understand that XAMPP do have what's it called? XAMPP do have some different stuff. Don't turn on the Tomcat. Leave the Tomcat server alone. Okay, leave the Tomcat server alone. Okay, so you can only turn on Apache. Can you hear me? Okay, so all right, so you're done. All right. So so I needed to show you. I needed to show you why PHP is considered, why PHP is considered one of the best server-side scripting language. So probably you can just do some market stuff by yourself.
Hold on. Hold on.
So yeah. Okay. Christopher, welcome. So yes, for recap, just hold on. So I'll start afresh. So I will just do a recap. Okay. So yeah. So welcome, but you are pretty late. So you're about 1 hour 30 minutes late. All right. But because this is the first class, so I'll allow a lot of things. Okay, now look at this information is of 2021, so not so long. So anyway, so disclaimer. So do what you want to do with this information. So other language have what? So they have about 11.72. So you see CSS, Silva, and PHP 5.6 have some good share. See the number of share ASP have. So you know, and then PHP as a whole have this. Now if you add this and this, so that's the whole big lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm not just going to stop here. Probably I'll look at some other people's stuff. So we'll check the weekly stats. Oh, oh, this is in respect to development. Okay. So this is some other place. So I found out. So this is the, if I look at this thing, 9 points. So we should have about 50 some 45. So we should have about 50 something here. And here we have over 77%. SP is still topping. Ruby is following, Java, then Scala, JavaScript. We have static files, that's your HTML, CSS, and some other stuff. Then Python. And before some other persons come in, okay? So you see, very lucky. That's always been the old guy. PHP has always been the old guy, all right? So you can see here, PHP is still leading. So PHP is still leading. So and Java follows. I think it shouldn't be Java, it should be ASP. Before they go and so on and so forth. So plenty other people do their survey and research and then do their data analysis. They have their different stuff. Okay. But the thing is, you've been able to see the consistency. All right. So if you want to calculate, the number of consistencies. So this is still talking, irrespective of which vendor is carrying out the research and so on and so forth. But you can see PHP is widely used. So this is why you should be, a PHP developer. There is plenty of jobs, plenty of opportunities, okay, and plenty of things to play with, and obviously plenty of money to catch. All right, and of course, I wouldn't say there is any language that is easy or there is any language that is hard, but I believe PHP has always been fair. So it's been fair to both beginners and intermediates and even both advanced. Okay, so you can use it any way you want to use it. You can, in fact, irrespective of wherever you want to use it, or your level of program, you can always hop in, and it really does not spell out some few stuff, some most conditions to be met. It's actually fair. Okay, so we will go back to this. So it's open source, all right? I think I will actually, so I will talk a bit, or I don't know. Yeah, open source, if we should talk about open source and why you should do open source. All right, so if you are starting out, so I will recommend you to go after open source. All right, so this is where you are able to put your little skills, okay, for humanity's sake. So it's just like doing things for humanity's sake. Okay, it's just like, okay, where you hear the word Ubuntu, all right, just for humanity. And of course, open source has always been for humanity, where you do things you do not expect money from it actually. All right, so you are doing it for the community. It's things that is meant for the community. Okay, the community controls it, meaning that you can also be one of those who control it. There are so many benefits, okay, in contributing to open source or in building open source stuffs. So open stuff, if you're building open source stuff, so you allow people to leverage on your things without you looking for money. And of course, just like you're solving probably maybe a payroll problem and you're not monetizing it. And plenty of other startups are being able to, build their solutions on your stuff. Okay. And there are a bunch of other open source things out there. OS, softwares like OS like Linux, OS, and or a scripting language like PHP out there, and some other languages and some other projects. I think find some other fine projects, okay, that I wouldn't really want. Yeah, very other fine projects, but probably, yeah, fine projects that are still open source. So if you're looking where to start out, so there are some other that are still looking for, somebody to come and do, probably maybe just check through if you see typos and so on, so you can easily fix and so on. So this is where you can get your skill, deploy them just for, as you grow. But before you start, you need to always be sure that you know some certain level. For example, if you are trying to contribute to, let's say, project A, you should be able to have some of the required skill, okay, or some of the core concepts. You should be able to understand some of the core concepts and have some of the basic knowledge of this project X before you are able to contribute to it, provided it's an open source. And your contribution will be noted, okay, it will be acknowledged. For example, if some other persons want to build on it, your name will be there. If you intend to grow out of it, you'll be recognized for it, no matter how small your inputs are. Okay? Large community, how do you benefit from large community? All right, because PHP has a large community. Because it's large community, you are not likely to be stuck really, as a beginner, you're not likely to be stuck for a long time. So majority, like I would say 99% of the problems that you are even yet to face, some advanced persons have already faced it, or they are even aware of it. They are even aware that you are about to face this kind of problem. So you can always reach out to them, and because that large community is there, So you will not always lack resources to go through your problem. So imagine I was not able to boot my server the other time, and I say cannot boot PHP server. I should see some weird, like wide range of resources. You see Stack Overflow? Why PHP built-in server doesn't work? Okay. So if this was related to my problem, automatically it's solved. So you can see this. So this is what this person was trying to do. And you see, this is what, if a PHP file, you see, this is a PHP person responding to this. And there are a bunch of other PHP driven communities. Okay, I've joined many, and of course, just as we grow, I will introduce you to some where we will be colleagues. Okay. All right. So I don't think there is any other thing I should dwell on. So this is question and answer time. So we have till the next 30 something minutes now, about 34 minutes or thereabout, or about 30 minutes or thereabout, for 32 minutes or thereabout for question and answer. Anybody has any question? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, Kenneth, go on.
All right, thank you for the session. So I think this is the question I have is, okay, I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so the question I have is like, I think it's more on the last presentation you made, that's why PHP. And so I want to know, so you as a PHP developer, let's say you get like a contract to build a website for someone. So how do you manage? Do we still need to like go really deep into the front end side? How do you manage? As a PHP developer, do I need to maybe outsource a front end developer to work it for me, or there is a way we as a backend developers can go around it easily and get a full fledged website?
Okay, now if you are looking towards having a full-fledged website and you do not know the front end, okay, so it is good that you outsource the front end personnel to help you with the front end while you focus on the back end. Personally, aside from PHP being my more of core focus, I write other variety of languages, not just PHP. I write Express, Node.js, I write JavaScript. I am a full stack developer anyway. So, but then in some cases, if I don't wish to write the front end, I still outsource. So I still outsource people to write the front end for me while I just focus on the back end. So in most, I wouldn't even need to, I don't even need to, I don't need to really know much of the front end. But in some cases, or should I say in most cases, it is good that you understand the basics. Basics is this is web, where just everything is interconnected. The least thing, like if you do not understand networking, there are several things you might want to do. You will also need a pinch of the networking knowledge. All right. So you as a web person, as a computing person, you need at least a pinch of knowledge around other stacks. It's not wrong that you are source. If you are willing to outsource, or if you cannot do the front end and you want to outsource, it's not wrong that you want to outsource. It's not wrong that you're outsourcing, but not really wrong. Still fine, but it is required at least know the basics, just the basics. Okay, leave the advanced things to the people who can do the advanced things. Has that answered your question, Kenneth?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other question?
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Christopher, please, there is a rule. So when next you're coming in, so if you want to ask a question, you can please help by raising your hand first, so you can be ushered in to ask. But now, go ahead, ask your question.
Okay. I'm sorry I was very late for the class. There was traffic in the road. So my question is, is it possible to write a code with PHP?
If it is possible to write a code in PHP.
Yes.
Like if it is possible to write a code in PHP.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, so for your reason, I think I will just recap. Okay, so now, so let me just go through what we did. Probably you're so late, and yeah, it seems you are interested. So today basically was just an introduction to PHP. All right, so where we talked about introduction to PHP, we did talk about environment setup. Moreover, I think this class is recorded. It's recorded, so probably after this class, uh, the link to the class to the class might be shared or might not. I'm not just promising. Okay, so where we have this, we did talk about this, and yeah, we did talk about this. So where we had to set up our development environment, and this is if you are using Windows, just download them. If you are using Linux, so you follow these procedures, and whenever you're done, if you are done setting up your PHP environment, so you should be able to run this PHP-V. So it should show at least the version you are using. Now, it is possible. The question you're asking is just like asking, okay, as a human, is it possible to eat? Okay, PHP is a scripting language. It's a programming language. Okay, of course, anything that has to do with scripting or programming, all right, has to come with code. This is a code for PHP. All right. I can as well make it much more complex and say, okay, maybe I say val 23. So if or let's say val equals true. If val so print r this is a very valid code. Very valid code. Okay. So if I execute this, so I'm just going to comment this. We call it hello.php. So of course, you see. So now if I change this value, this is a Boolean value. So we'll talk about Boolean probably maybe in our next class. Nothing should be printed. This is a valid PHP code. So meaning that because PHP is a scripting language, because it's a programming language, the high level programming language, it must contain code. It has what? Code. Have I been able to answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question? All right. Ola Sope. Go on.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for your lecture, for your time. Okay, my question goes to us that, is it possible to use PHP for fintech application?
Yes, it's very possible. What is a fintech application? It's simply
Like,
solutions to financial
yes,
problems.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, because most
Plenty times.
times I heard them use Python, I heard them use Java, and then other programming language. And I read it online, they said the PHP is, that's a very bad for most of the application.
Oh, I haven't seen that publication. No programming language is bad. It just depends, on the application. It depends, number one, the domain of the problem. All right, the solution architecture,
Okay.
and then the last, the programmers, or should I say the engineers involved. Okay, if there is any PHP that is bad, I would likely say it might be the fault of probably this set I just mentioned. Okay, the domain of the problem. Okay, and
Thank
the
you.
programmers involved, and possibly the intended solution architecture. So
All right.
this is absolutely what kind of breaks, or what breaks application, or what brings a solution to not perfect. Languages doesn't have all those things. Languages, PHP is not, or for the fact that PHP might be lightly loosely typed language or something. Okay, every language has their pros and cons. Okay. Now, when you understand the downside of a language, and you are able to build to cover the downside of your language, that makes it much more effective. Do you understand now?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. Steven, I saw your hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to buttress on the fact that when you talked about building PHP fintech applications with PHP, but you already spoken extensively on it. So
Okay.
I don't need to again.
All right. So, any other question? Okay. So I assume everyone is good. So we can end the class here. All right. So in the absence of any other question, so we will just end the class here. So like I will say, I'm here for you. So next class, we'll be talking about a lot of things. So today's class wasn't really mean for a lot of programming, okay? But then I promise you, next class is going to be programming. That's where we'll start. So we'll be doing a lot of things. So we'll be trying to see this, understand why if is there, why val is there, why false is there, why this thing is there, why this thing is there. Okay. So thank you for your time. I hope you do make good use of your stay in KodeCamp. I wish you all the best, and till we meet again in the next class. So I wish everybody nice day ahead. I still remain Celestine. So all right. So bye everyone.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Celestin, yeah, thank you very much. So guys, let's have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please just reach out to your trainer on the channel, on the PHP channel, and then he'll actually just